All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and I'm back once again breaking down the Trials meta report. We're going to look at what are the top 10 weapons from last weekend in Trials. And in fact, we're going to look back 3 weeks to compare and contrast over the weeks what has changed. And last week was a really interesting one, okay? Before I do this, before I bring this up, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think was the #1 most used weapon from last weekend? Javelin 4 Trials. Go ahead and comment that down below. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We're dropping the graphic. Boom. There it is. The main ingredient. Xur's main ingredient, and not just Xur's main ingredient. Keep this in mind. Last week was also the same week where in Dares of Eternity, this weapon was a drop. So a lot of people were doing Dares of Eternity, and the main ingredient would drop. Maybe you got a god roll, maybe you got a really good roll. There's so many different rolls that are actually really good of this weapon, and honestly, even the worst roll of this weapon is still extremely lethal and extremely potent inside PvP. So keep that in mind. The main ingredient was the #1 most lethal weapon from last weekend in Trials on Javelin 4. Pretty crazy stuff to see a fusion at the top. The fusion is the king of the meta. #2 goes to the IS Luna, already the 140 RPM hand cannon. We have the Chaperone making another appearance in the top 10. This thing is just so disgustingly good. The Lawrence Driver, oh my gosh, this thing is painful to play against. So good. The Palindrome makes it. The Fatebringer makes it. That's 3 140 RPM hand cannons in the top 10. And then we have the Dead Man's Tail. We have the Felwinter's Lie. The Ace of Spades, the 4th 140 RPM hand cannon. And the Last Word hand cannon. Okay, now let's look at the previous weeks. The week before, so the very first one right next to it is the week before, and then the week before that we have Chaperone, Dead Man's Tail, Felwinter's IS Luna. Main ingredient was #5 then, the Palindrome, the 7th Seraph CQC, the Last Word Matador, the Lawrence Driver. And the week before that we had the IS Luna, the Palindrome, main ingredient, DMT, Chaperone, Lawrence, Last Word, Ace of Spades, Felwinter's Lie, and the Fatebringer. So obviously when it comes to the meta and what people are using in Trials, there is a little bit of a popularity contest and accessibility of weapons. If something is just given to people by Xur or by the gunsmith or wherever it may be, you'll see a rise in usage of that weapon. And main ingredient is not only a really potent weapon in the current sandbox, but it was very easily available last week, like I mentioned, from Dares of Eternity, and that's why we're seeing that there. People are starting to realize that after these pellet shotguns got nerfed a bunch, fusions are just way more consistent and way more lethal across the board. And honestly, I like using them. Let me know down below if you like using them, or if you feel like the fusion rifle meta now is a bit of a plague, because clearly we are living in a fusion rifle meta according to last weekend's trial stats. In fact, I'll pull up some even more in-depth stats here. We have warmind.io. The last one was Destiny Trials Report. This is warmind.io, and we have the top kinetic, top energy, and top power weapons. So you can see by what percentage do these weapons dominate the meta. IS Luna holds 16%, Chaperone 15%, so very close. Fatebringer 12%, Dead Man's Tail 10%, and Ace, Last Word, Crimson, Messenger, Multimach, and Thorn in the top 10 for just the kinetic slot. Keep that in mind. Now the energy slot, obviously, main ingredient, 20% last weekend. Lawrence Driver 16%, Palindrome 16%, Felwinter's Lie all the way down at 11%, and then dwindling below that we have Le Monarch, Thousand Yard Stare, Adored, 7th Seraph CQC, Shira's Wrath, and the Vex Mythoclast. In the power ammo slot, I don't really care too much about the power ammo meta in Trials of Osiris because there's only one round of that. But clearly, the Gjallarhorn is the one, all right? Gjallarhorn is just so lethal. Free kills. The Wolfpack rounds get kills, and then the Wolfpack rounds from that get more kills and stuff like that. People tend to be clumped up together, so double kills, triple kills happen regularly with the Gjallarhorn. And even just one guaranteed kill is basically a round win in Trials, so Gjallarhorn basically gets you that one guaranteed kill. That's why so many people use that. My personal power weapon of choice. If I'm yoinking that power during that power round, let me know if that's what you're using. Clearly, 36% of the player base, that's like the most used power weapon. All right, so that is your overall meta report. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. What do you think about the fusion rifle meta? Let me know if you aren't using Xur's main ingredient, what role of the main ingredient are you using? There are some really good roles out there that aren't Xur's role. Keep that in mind. In fact, I've even been theorizing of a role that's technically slightly better than Xur's role. Now, Xur's role is a god role and is very good, but there is a role out there that is slightly better, depending upon how you use it. So maybe I'll make a video on that soon. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That's the Trials meta report. Last weekend, we saw 248,000 players, so a very healthy amount of player base, largely because the map is Javelin 4, a beloved map. Let's see what happens next week when it's maybe not such a beloved map. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you did enjoy. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.